My name is Jessie Mclaugh. I am Assistant Curator on the Early Years and Families programme, part of the Learning Department here at Tate. The project we did as part of Tate Exchange was called The 8 to 14s Thing. The 8 to 14s Thing was the product of a strand we do on the Learning Early Years and Families team aimed at 8 to 14-year-olds and their families. We had a group at Tate Modern and a group at Tate Britain. They worked with two artists, Aya Kobayashi and Neil Luck, and explored the idea of exchange through working with each other, through visiting the galleries. It culminated in an event here on Level 5, a public event for friends, family, artists and collaborators. The main question was, could we develop a programme that would be social, responsive, fluid, and around this idea of a conversation. The sessions would start with a warm-up, which was very physical. It was moving around the space. A ball used as part of the warm-up. There was lots of bouncing and chucking up in the air, and it was something non-verbal that the young people really picked up on, that they could express themselves with, they could show off, or they could not show off or be very quiet with. It was a really nice way to get to know them, especially in those earlier sessions when everyone was a bit shyer. The fact that we were all dressed in trainers and comfortable clothing in some way unified us in a way that you might not get at school or home or other places where adults possibly signify authority and children have less sort of autonomy and agency. There was lots to learn, and there was lots of honest conversations about what it means to come into a space like this, what it means to be part of a session led by adults, and what it means to be without your parents. You know, all these kind of like the practical became the political in quite a interesting way, really. We used film, still cameras, GoPros, sound recorders, sketchbooks. They became a really important part of the project to bring up confidence, to allow different types of engagement, to allow the participants, the artists and us to focus on each other, listen to each other. Here's a really nice example of the group with the artists filming and documenting each other working. Someone reading from their sketchbook, so reading and also filming themselves reading. Here is someone looking out the window. We did a lot of thinking about the space, the architecture, the neighbourhood. Both groups were fairly local to either Tate Modern or Tate Britain. Here is a headlamp. They wore these in the galleries and we went into the Turbine Hall. We observed people looking at art. We observed human behaviour that interests us. It literally spelled out what we were trying to do, which was to illuminate, shine light on, shine value on what the participants saw, were interested in, wanted to pursue, wanted to talk about. This is a clip from E.T. This scene has struck me since first seeing it as a child. It's such an amazing, freeing scene. The group moving freely, moving in response to one another, and yet still caring for each other and looking out for each other. It has informed my practice as an artist and a learning practitioner. Dominant culture promotes calculated objectivism that is dehumanising. Alternatively, a mutual partnership model invites engagement of the self that humanises, that makes love possible. Teaching Community by Bell Hooks really, I think, fed into what we were trying to do with this project, which was to create a more intimate and emotional space, give some agency and humanism to young people who possibly in a very ordered, structured school life lack that agency. A key thing we learnt was very much about trust and confidence, learning together, admitting unknowns or vulnerabilities, sharing experiences. I think was a really powerful thing that happened and really allowed the young people in the group to share their strengths and experiences and vulnerabilities and unknowns as well. The idea was really to run with the idea of Tate Exchange being this experimental space, and how could we transform leeway to be experimental as programmers into leeway to be for participants to be experimental.